Multiple choice, 1 PT. Which of the following represents an example of popular sovereignty? The President proposing a law to Congress. Citizens voting for the representative they feel represents their interests. Congress passing a federal budget. The King sentencing someone to prison. What is meant by separation of powers? A loose union of states with a weak central government. The separation of church and state. A system in which the powers of the state government are separate from the powers of the national government. A system in which the powers of national government are split across several independent branches. Which scenario represents the use of judicial review? The Supreme Court declaring segregation in schools unconstitutional in Brown v. Board of Education. The Supreme Court passing a law that prevents the use of implied powers. The President appointing a new justice to the Supreme Court. Congress interviewing and debating the qualifications of the candidate for appointment to the Supreme Court. The necessary and proper clause is the clause that gives the federal government its implied powers. Allows the federal government to use powers beyond those listed in the Constitution. Gives all powers to the states not given to the federal government. Both A and B. The power of the purse is held by. And it deals with. Senate, the ability to propose bills dealing with federal taxes or budgets. House of Representatives, the ability to propose bills dealing with federal taxes or budgets. Congress, the ability to propose bills dealing with federal taxes or budgets. President, veto laws that he disagrees with. For all the questions below, decide if they are powers given to the federal government, state governments, or both. Print money. Federal. State. Both. Declare war. Federal. State. Both. Ratify constitutional amendments. Federal. State. Both. Conduct elections. Federal. State. Both. Taxes. Federal. State. Both. Place these events in the correct order that they could happen based on checks and balances in the bow below. 1 represents the first event, 5 represents the final event. 3 PTS. The President vetoes the bill. The Supreme Court reviews the law and declares it unconstitutional. Congress overrides the veto and the bill becomes a law. The constitutionality of a House law is challenged in court. A new housing bill is passed by both houses of Congress. All powers not given to the federal government are reserved for the states. You cannot be forced to testify against yourself. You have the right to a fair and speedy trial by jury in all civil cases. Freedom of speech, press, religion, petition, and assembly. You cannot be forced to house soldiers. No cruel and unusual punishment. You have the right to a fair and speedy trial by jury in all criminal cases. You have the right to bear arms. Police cannot search or seize your property without a warrant. You have rights beyond those listed in the Constitution. The President and Vice President are elected separately. Presidential line of succession. The President may only serve 2 terms in office of a total of 10 years. The president is inaugurated in January following the election. Citizens are equally protected under the law. Abolition of slavery. The right to vote cannot be denied on the basis of race. Alcohol is illegal. Women have the right to vote. Senators are elected by the citizens of their respective states. DC votes for the president. Poll taxes are illegal. Voting age lowered to 18. The 18th Amendment is repealed. The federal government may levy income tax. Citizens cannot sue states in a federal court. Congress cannot immediately give itself a pay raise. How is the bicameral U.S. Congress structured? Define federalism and then identify the 4 different categories of powers under federalism. Essay, 15 points. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Pick 2 of the 6 goals of the U.S. Constitution as listed in the preamble above. Then, give 2 or more specific examples of how the Constitution and the way our government is structured by it allows for those goals to be accomplished. Be sure that you explain in detail how those specific powers or structures are related to the goal you chose.